Okay, one question I'm going to start off with, I'm going to ask is, what do you want to see young people doing more of during this time of lockdown?
I see young people becoming more expressive in their creativity. I think kind of in the school setting, not every school is bad and not every teacher is bad, but I think one of the things that the educational system has kind of infringed on is levels of creativity and ambition. And I think right now, like I said before, we are in a moment of time where the opportunities are endless. Like, you go on YouTube and you see little children reviewing toys, and they are making millions of dollars for reviewing toys, guys. I'm not saying everyone is cool to be a YouTuber, but what I'm saying is 10, 20 years ago, this was never possible. If you told your parents that you want to you want to be a YouTuber, you want to review something, they would, I know for me personally, my parents would shut that down quickly if that was 20 years ago. But now, when we're looking at the landscape of things, there is so much opportunity to thrive now. It's not just when you're 20 or 30 or 40 or 50. There's opportunities now. There's resources now for you to thrive, to grow, to express yourself uh, above the limitations. And you can do it from the palm of your hand. You can do it from your phone. You can do it from your tablet. You can do it from your laptop. There is literally no restrictions. So that's what I really foresee. And I really kind of see the tables turning in a sense that, before it's kind of like there's only a select few people that can do well in life or be successful in life. And now it's a thing where I believe anyone can take advantage of focus, of clarity, of ambition, of opportunities, and actually do well. So one of my favorite individuals or historical figures, historical, I say it like it's a very long time ago, but one of the people that it has inspired me in my personal life and journey is a man called Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. And I start with one of his statements, which is the ultimate measure of a man is not where he stands. This is also for females as well, so I'm not being biased, but where he stands in moments of comfort and convenience, but where he or she stands at times of challenge and controversy. And I think in this day and age, it's very easy for us to look at everybody's successes, everyone else's, ups, the great stuff that happens to everybody. But moments like that, as hard as it may be to believe, those parts are more easier. Why? Because most of the time, especially when people are enjoying success, whether it's by money, whether it's by fame or clout or whatever it is, there's this even though it does come with its challenges, it's kind of easier to rest in that moment because your accolades are working for you. What people have to say, the good things that people have to say about you, it's working for you in that moment. But when you're going through challenges, when you're going through controversy, that's when you really have to muster up the courage. That's when you realize maybe not everyone is there for me. Maybe, some people don't really understand what I'm going through. Maybe I feel like I'm in this all by myself. And so it's in moments like that where we can measure the strength that we really have. We can't really measure strength when everything is going our way. We can really measure strength when we are under pressure. I'll give you a quick example. When you're in the gym and you're lifting, weights in the gym, you're pushing yourself to a limit that you've not pushed yourself to before. And so, when you're in the gym, you're working very hard. You put yourself under intense pressure to make sure that you grow in strength, you grow in your fitness. Then the next day, when it's time to go shopping with family or it's time to lift up something heavy, that's not really so hard because you've done the hard work in the gym. And so now you're kind of resting off the fact that I've done the hard work in the gym. Now I've got the muscles. Now I'm a bit fitter. Now I can jog to the shop without panting like I used to when I wasn't as fit. And so that's kind of the I'm trying to, or I believe that Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. was trying to get across here. Now, what is crisis? Because I've been using that word a little bit. And in the short definition, crisis is a time of intense difficulty and or danger. So, you know, there's difficulty and there's intense. And I think intense just means the magnitude of how difficult something is. So it's difficult, but there's a great level of difficulty when we're speaking of crisis or danger. So for some of us, maybe we've not contracted coronavirus, but maybe because of health issues, maybe we're at high risk and so we're at potential danger, or none of that is relevant to us, but we face the difficulty of it. So the social distancing, the not being able to go to school, not being able to meet up with friends, that's the difficulty that it poses. For some of us, it's a mental health thing. For some of us, it's just maybe a confidence thing. While we're at home and we just don't feel good about ourselves. For some of us, like myself, I've not had a haircut in over 3 months. That is very traumatic, and I don't even have much hair on my head left. In fact, after the lockdown, I am cutting all my head off. I'm finally making the decision to go bald. This is a public announcement. I've never said it anywhere else, so this is public news to everyone. So yeah, I don't want to actually show the state of my hair. I can see Natasha's face. Yes, I am finally going bald. And yeah, so it definitely. I mean, I'm a very confident person, but just looking in the mirror and then thinking, okay, right, you've got a beard, okay, that's manageable, but the hair on your head, yeah, it's not so great. So yeah, even people like me who feel really confident, about myself in general, definitely there's elements or moments in time where you just feel like, maybe I don't look so good today. But anyway, things will change soon. The pandemic has presented a crisis in itself, but that's not all. We're presented with many challenges. For some, crisis doesn't happen all the time. It doesn't, or it might, for some, sorry, I should say, it happens more frequently than others. So some of us face a lot of challenges more often than others. And so life as we know it, there's the unfortunate thing about life is life doesn't prove to be fair. Unfortunately, there are people who face more challenges in life than other people. I don't like comparing people's challenges because I think that's very unfair because we're all individuals and we all have different thresholds. But there are people who do face more challenges than others. So before we go on to some of the points that I believe will help us during this time, I just feel like it's important to highlight some types of crisis that we face in life. Sometimes we're aware of it, but we just don't give it a title. We don't give it a name. So, for example, we have technological crisis, which is basically, flaws in technology, maybe systems or equipment that has an adverse effect on maybe the service of an organization, maybe like the government or a business or customers. Maybe, for example, now we're like using Zoom. Let's say, for example, Zoom crashed because their servers were crashed. That would be a crisis for them or individuals. So I put some examples like your phone not working or your laptop crashing, which has happened to me several times. That is a technological crisis. Or maybe, for example, you want to treat yourself and you want to just make sure that you've got enough money in your account to buy those nice trainers that had just come out on the Nike website, and then you go on your bank's website, you go on your banking app, and then you realize, wait, hold up, I can't log in. What's the problem? Because the bank servers have crashed, and that's a technological issue which we've seen, a lot more recently. The second one is personal crisis. So a crisis that takes place in your personal life that is triggered by maybe things internally or external factors. So internally, it could be maybe your health. It could be, your thoughts or, your mental health, like I've written there. It could be external. It could be a death of someone or an illness of someone that is very close to you. It could be a traumatic experience, some maybe a pain or a trauma that you've been through in life that affects you from time to time. I have, quite a lot of friends, especially during this time, who have lost loved ones. Even my uncle passed away during this time, and so it definitely did present a form of crisis where you're kind of like, what happens next? How do we support family members? Financially, how are we going to be able to pay for this funeral? With lockdown restrictions, all of the family won't be able to go to the funeral. So what are we going to have to do? That presented a lot of issues. And I found kind of for a week or two, I kind of found myself in a space where I was very low, wondering what was going to happen next. I kind of forgot about everything that I was currently doing with work and family. And I just got caught up in that little bubble, and I felt like I was in a personal crisis. So I'm sure some of you can relate with some of these examples I've given.